will never get past my barrier, Spider-Man.
Alright, welcome back to Spider-Man. In this video, well, this will be the last video, actually. This is a very short game. It's only 7 videos. But right now, we are fighting Dr. Octopus, Dr. Otto Octavius, Doc Ock. That guy's got a lot of names. Anywho, this is a fairly straightforward fight. What happens is he's going to throw up these barriers, and he's also going to give you these switches. You just have to web ball the switches, and then eventually his barrier will go down, and you will do what Spider-Man does best. Beat the shit out of him. You can also go up to him and press them, I do believe, but it's just easier to go up and web ball them because, you know, you're Spider-Man. Might as well use your spider powers, your Spider-Man powers. I said this in the last video, but Doc Ock is played by Ephraim Zimbalist, I do believe is how you pronounce his name, who is also Alfred in Batman the Animated Series, and who has unfortunately passed away, which is a big loss for Batman fans. And he's good as Doc Ock. I like him. He was Doc Ock in the Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s as well. Maybe you can't go up there and press them. But yeah, the only real big danger here is his arms. They don't really do that much danger, and as long as they don't do that much damage, and as long as you keep moving, he'll never really hit you. The only time you're really going to get hit is when you stop to web ball the things. He's most likely going to hit you. But yeah, not a very difficult fight. It just goes on for quite a while. This is actually the part of the game that I replayed the most as a kid, because I really love these last 3 levels because they're all boss battles. One of them in particular is a boss with my favorite Spider-Man villain, and that would be Carnage, who we saw in the last video is working alongside Doc Ock, helping him to control the symbiotes. Carnage has always been like my favorite Spider-Man villain. I love him. Maybe it's cliche to say he's essentially Spider-Man's Joker, but I think there's more to it than that, because I think Carnage was always fairly interesting just because of how he's legitimately, like, just insane. He's a murderer. He's a psychopath. Yeah. And Doc Ock's great. Doc Ock's a great villain. I think definitely the best Doc Ock has ever been was in Spider-Man 2. Because in the comics, I'm not too big on him. I'm not a huge fan of Superior Spider-Man when, you know, Peter Parker died and Doc Ock was Spider-Man. I think that was kind of silly. But I'm pretty sure they undid that now, because I really don't read Marvel comics. I've said this a million times, but I'm a big DC guy. The only Marvel things I like is Spider-Man and Daredevil. Yeah, each time that you beat him up, he'll give a new attack, but it's pretty much exactly the same thing. You know, the first time he just shoots his arms at you. This time he, you know, does one at a time and moves down a line. Again, as long as you keep moving, you should never get hit by Doc Ock. And the only reason I'm getting hit as much as I am is because I don't care about getting hit, because I know that they keep spawning in health, so it really doesn't matter to me. Also, I'm not a fan of his design in this game. I mean, it's hard to mess up Doc Ock because he's just a guy with a bunch of arms, but he just looks like a weird surgeon. Also, I hate their banter in this fight. Well, not their banter, but his, like, repetitive lines. Specifically his laugh really gets on my nerves. Is that what an octopus sounds like? So he sounds more like the Penguin. We should only be able to attack him one more time, and then I think he should be done. Like the Doc Octopussy he is. Funny jokes.
No, I am defeated.
That's one of those lines I'll always keep in my head. I am defeated!
But then, this way.
One down, One to go. Wonder how Venom's doing. Eddie, are you alright? Talk to me! Wake up, Brock.
Look out. Behind you.
What'd you say? That's a sonic bubble in the middle of the room. Seeing as how the only two things that symbiotes hate are fire and sonics, I'm guessing Ock made it just in case Carnage tried to double-cross him.
What color do you please?
So this is my favorite boss in the game. I really enjoy this fight. It's really unique because you have to grab Carnage and throw him into the bubble, which is really fun. And Carnage is played by one of my favorite voice actors, D. Bradley Baker. He is, I think, perfection for Carnage. His voice is so good for Carnage. Because when I go back and read like Maximum Carnage or something like that, this will always be the voice that I hear when reading Carnage. It's perfect, and there's just so many lines here that from my childhood I remember and I still sometimes use. Like whenever you get too far away from Carnage, he'll go, "Here I come," and stuff like that. I love his laugh. That's another one. The die, die, die is another really great and memorable line. Carnage isn't in this game for very long, but I think when he is in this, he's very memorable. His fight is really damn fun, and this is just a great fight.
Here I come! Stop! Make it stop!
Carnage really has never been done right outside of this game. I mean, like, in video games. Because he was in Ultimate Spider-Man. He was, like, not really great in that. This is the best Carnage that there's been in a game. And they keep throwing him in for some reason. There's, like, two things that are always in Spider-Man games. Or three things. Venom, Rhino, and Carnage. I feel like Doc Ock really isn't in as many as he should be. Because he's a unique thing to fight in a video game. And there we go.
You are a born loser, Cletus Cassidy. Like I told Mysterio, no one can control the symbiotes. No one I've met, anyway. Take a breather, Spidey. It's over. Well, just another day in the life. Whoa! What the? Is that Ock?
So this is interesting. This is a completely unique enemy called Monster Ock. And that little voice clip there is another thing that has always stuck with me. Because of the amount of times I've had to play this level as a kid. Because this shit is difficult. And I was very happy that this was my first attempt at this level and I got it. So, Monster Ock is extremely fast. You have to go through, I guess, I'd say about maybe like 4 or 5 minutes of this. And he is constantly going to be on your butt. I feel like he uses rubber band AI because there's some times where he's like on the map and it looks like he's really far away and then he's just like, whoa, here I am. So if he uses rubber band AI and I'm not just like imagining that, then I hate him even more. These barriers will go up occasionally. Sometimes things will get in his way to make it, you know, a little easier for you. But, yeah. There's like a couple things you need to watch out for here. You need to make sure he doesn't catch up to you. And I think if you take too long, that bar on the right fills up and then you just blow up. I think. I've never had that happen. But yeah, just don't get caught by Monster Ock. That's really it. And like I said, this goes on for a little longer than I think it should. It's very nerve-wracking. And as I stated before, this was my first attempt. I hadn't played this in about 10 years. And I was like, oh boy, I better get ready to start doing this for the next hour. And I got it on my first shot, which means I guess I am finally good at this game. Whereas when I was a kid, I was pretty terrible. And it doesn't matter what suit you wear, I think. If you were to like wear the one that's invincible, I'm pretty sure he still kills you if you get too close. Although I will say, watching this being done correctly is a lot of fun to watch. Like, it looks like something out of a movie. Especially when you're running down these long corridors and then there's, like, these doors closing, and it just looks really cool. I feel like this game was very ahead of its time.
Stay away from me!
That is something that happens, and it's really annoying when you go to web swing down a corridor and Spider-Man just gets stuck on something that you do not want him to be sticking onto.
Getting closer to the surface.
That was always like my #1 cause of death when I was a kid, was always Spider-Man getting stuck to walls and stuff that I don't want him to be stuck to. Like right there, I thought right here I was gonna die. Because he's like literally right there. I feel like maybe that thing on the right, the gauge, might actually be scripted, but I don't know. Man, we are just leaving him in our dust. Eat my spider dust, dick. I'm not a fan of these camera angles where the camera is behind Spider-Man. I like the ones where they're in front of him a lot better. And this was another point where I thought I was done, because I got stuck on that wall like twice, and that's not good. Also, why don't his arms have shadows?
Almost there.
How come only his body does? That doesn't make sense. I don't believe Monster Ock has ever appeared in anything other than this game. I don't think they've ever tried to put him in the comics or anything like that. See, look at that. That is rubber banding. That is terrible. But we're pretty much done with this here. This is the last little gameplay of this game. Yeah, I think that is scripted. I feel like that's scripted for sure. I had a lot of close calls here. This was another one where I was like, shit, he's actually ahead of me right now.
Level 1. On the home stretch, baby.
As soon as you're down this corridor, I do believe that's the end. Maybe not. Maybe it's this corridor. It's a corridor around here. Yeah, I think it's this one because it's really anticlimactic. And Jesus, I thought I lost there.
Move it!
After all that, it was the symbiote that saved Ock. You've got to be kidding. Perfect end to a perfect day. Huh? What the?
It's a good thing Black Cat gave me a call, son.
Looks like just in time.
Hey, Spidey, can you get us Captain America's autograph?
Oh, brother.
Punisher, do you have any threes?
Go fish! So, nice of you to join us for once, Spidey.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was out saving the world. Beating you guys at cards ought to be pretty easy.
Your spider sense won't save you here.
Look who's talking, Daredevil. You've been looking at my cards all night.
I don't need to look at your cards, Punisher. Your bluffs are so obvious.
Okay. Let's keep this a nice, friendly, clean game.
Who keeps inviting this guy?
Hey, will you guys keep it down?
Hey, loosen up, kids! I'm on fire!
Wait, hold on. Time out. All of you guys were working together, and you still couldn't take down Spider-Man?
It's not my fault. Doc Ock's plan was horrible. Everyone knows you can't control the symbiotes.
Hey, wait! So, I'm a rhino, you're a scorpion, and he's an octopus. What's a Mysterio?
So, Rhino, you got any threes?
Hey! Hey, I got a bingo! Ha ha! You guys think you're so smart, but I won! Ha! Who's your daddy, Doc Ock? Ha ha ha! Victory is mine! You're always laughing at me, but who's crying now, huh? Ha 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 ha! Wait a minute, I made a mistake.
I love that ending. So, anyway, that was Spooderman, that was Spider-Man. That is a very good game from my childhood, one of my absolute favorites. Definitely one of my favorite superhero games, for sure, my favorite Spider-Man game. Which is a tough call to make, because there are quite a few good Spider-Man games. Before the Batman Arkham games, Spider-Man was the superhero that probably had the most luck with video games. Probably my other favorites would be the one based on the first movie. The second movie game has not aged well. Ultimate Spider-Man is still very good. I feel like I want to say that's it. Web of Shadows is interesting, but it's very broken, and I haven't played anything past that. This game does have a sequel, Enter Electro or something. I've never played it. It would be interesting, actually. I might actually track that down and play that for this channel, because I really do enjoy this game, and I have never experienced the second game. The villains in this game are great. They really, I think, went all out with the guys that you fight. You know, Rhino, Mysterio, Scorpion, Carnage, Venom, Doc Ock. It's all really great. Boss battles are great in this game, I think. And here's the amazing cast. See how many people, you know, one guy played. You know, Duran Norris and D. Baker were mostly every single person. And of course, Stan Lee plays himself. There is an alternate mode called the What If mode, which is kind of based on the comics, like the, you know, What If comics. And instead of Stan Lee narrating it, it's actually Lawrence Fishburne, which is kind of funny because I like to imagine it's Morpheus from The Matrix doing it. But yeah, pretty much all I gotta say for this game. I mean, you know, I love Spider-Man. I love this game. It's, I think, honestly, I think it's held up a lot better than it really should have. The controls are a little clunky, little janky, but they're not the worst controls I've ever seen in a game, and especially for a PS1 game, it's pretty damn good. So I guess I'll leave it now, because this is a good song that's playing, and I'll see you in my next game. And maybe the next Spider-Man game I will do will either be the sequel to this, or the first movie game, because I really enjoy that one. So, see you next time.